The UK government just changed the requirements for indefinite leave to remain, and I felt it's so important for me to share this with you. This was updated recently. I've been waiting for this to be updated so I can share it with you. I don't want to share what is on the statement of changes in immigration rules because they did not talk so much about it there. But now that this update has been released, I felt, yeah, let me prepare you for indefinite leave to remain. It's something that I feel if you don't prepare ahead of time, you might not be eligible for that particular application. And that's why I'm sharing it here. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition abroad to be as smooth as possible. I share information about settling, working, or studying in the UK. If you're interested in any of these, then subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell so that each time I drop a new video, you'll be amongst the first people to see that video. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support. I really appreciate what you do for me. Just don't hesitate to click on the share button. Share this video with all your friends and family. It really promotes my channel. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. In case you don't know, the UK government released the statement of changes in immigration rules, and they didn't mention anything about ILR there, but they have updated the website with regards to indefinite leave to remain. What makes you eligible for an indefinite leave to remain? And that's what I'm going to concentrate here. Now, in case you don't know what ILR or indefinite leave to remain is, it's a particular settlement. It's like permanent residence, and that's when you are allowed to live, work, or stay in the UK for as long as you like. And after this, you can actually apply for your British citizenship, and that's one target many people want when they come into the UK. To get an ILR, you must be able to meet the salary requirements, and also you have to continue to be needed for your job and meet the salary requirements after you get indefinite leave to remain. You will need a document from your employer to confirm this. You don't say, oh, my skilled worker visa is about to end in 5 years, so I don't need to continue to work. You need to provide evidence that you are still employed. And yeah, that's something that some people struggle with. The main aspect that they actually change is that of salary requirements. But before we go into the salary requirements, it's important for you to know that you need to pass your life in the UK test. I have a video on how you can achieve that. You also need to provide evidence of your knowledge of English, and you should be 18 to 64 years old. It's also important for you to know that the cost is £3,029, and you can get a standard decision within 6 months. However, if you decide to pay £500 for priority, then it would come out after 5 working days. And if you decide to pay £1,000, it will come out the next working day. That's how it goes. Now, the major changes they've made is in salary requirements, and that's one major reason why many people actually get a denial after they submit their indefinite leave to remain application. If you hold a skilled worker visa or health and care worker visa, how much you must be paid depends on your visa. And it says that you will usually need to be paid at least whichever is higher out of the following: 41,700. It used to be 38,700, but now it has been increased to 41,700. It is your going rate that actually matters here. It says that the salary is £42,000 per year, but the standard going rate for the job you'll be doing is £45,000. You do not meet the usual salary requirements for the visa, and that's one of the major reasons why many people get a visa denial. Like, it's really difficult. Now, it's very important for you to find out the going rate for the occupation you are currently doing right now, and there's a link to show you the going rate. What you have to do is find out, can I get a raise if I don't meet the going rate? You need to plan way ahead of time, ask for a promotion, and if your employer is not willing to pay you something higher, the next thing you can do is to look for another job somewhere else. Switch employers so that you can earn more to meet the requirements for indefinite leave to remain. It says that when the salary requirements are different, if you work in health care or education, because these two sectors are in high demand, so they need people. That's why they lower the minimum going rate or threshold for these occupations. It says that your job is on the immigration salary list, which is also specifically in high demand. There's a list like this that's so important. And also, if you got your certificate of sponsorship for your first skilled worker or equivalent visa before the 4th of April 2024 and have held skilled worker visas since then. So if you've got that first application for the skilled worker visa before the 4th of April 2024, then you can actually need a lower going rate. And it's very important for you to check the table for the lower going rate for those people who applied before the 4th of April 2024. When you are in healthcare or education, it says that there are different salary rules if you work in some healthcare or education jobs where the going rate is based on national pay scales. You must be paid whichever is higher out of the following: £25,000 per year, the going rate based on national pay scales for the type of job you'll be doing. Now check your going rate in the table of national pay scales for either eligible healthcare jobs listed by the NHS pay band and area of the UK, eligible teaching and education leadership jobs listed by role and area of the UK. So if you're a care worker, maybe with 6135, 6136, just note that it is now £25,000 that you need to meet. If you look at this particular list here for those people who work under the NHS, you see that band 3 is £24,071. That's band 3 lower tier. So you should be eligible. But generally, note that sometimes these case workers always use that minimum scale of 25,000. So just try your best to earn more, get a promotion during your process, and just earn more. See if you can meet the 25,000. But I think £24,071 should make you eligible. Like I said, the government increased it on the 4th of April 2025 to, I think, 9th of April 2025 to 25,000. And sometimes some case workers would deny someone a visa based on that. So just prepare yourself. And also eligible teaching and education leadership jobs, there's a table for this. If you are an unqualified teacher, you can see what you need to earn. You can see different levels in teaching. You can try to achieve that. If your job in healthcare has different salary requirements, if you're on a health and care worker visa and your job is in one of the occupation codes with different salary requirements, you must be paid whichever is higher out of the following: 31,300 per year, £25,000 per year if the job is on the immigration salary list or it was at the time you applied. Last one is the lower going rate for the type of job you'll be doing. So whichever is higher is what they expect you to be earning. If you click on that link, you can see the list of occupations that will meet a different salary requirement, and there are laboratory technicians, physical scientists, biochemists, and biomedical scientists. Just look at that list, but note that if any of these jobs are on the immigration salary list, that is when the minimum payment you should expect on your COS should be £25,000. Another option is if your job is on the immigration salary list, that's if you do not meet the usual salary requirement and you do not work in the healthcare or education, you might still be eligible. Remember, this one is quite different because you're not in healthcare or education, but you are on a skilled worker visa and that particular occupation is on the immigration salary list. That is when you should be paid at least either 33,400 per year, or the standard going rate for the type of job you'll be doing. And you can always check the going rate for those type of occupations that are not under healthcare or education. They are skilled worker visa, but they are also on the immigration salary list, like the bricklayer and all that. Let's just ignore that. Now, if you got your certificate of sponsorship for your first skilled worker visa before the 4th of April 2024, if you have continually held one or more skilled worker visas since then, you must be paid whichever is higher out of the following: 31,300 per year, 25,000 per year if your job is on the immigration salary list, or it was at the time you applied, or the lower going rate for the type of job you will be doing. So they are trying to say that if you actually applied for a skilled worker visa for the first time before the 4th of April 2024, then you need to be paid whichever is higher of any of these following. Guys, you just need to go and find out what the going rate of your occupation is and then do the maths about it. Because if the going rate is quite high, like £40,000, do not expect that they will accept your visa if it is 31,300. So that's something you need to know. Now, it also says that there are different salary requirements if you are sponsored for a tier 2 or general visa in one of the following occupation codes. So there are exemptions, guys, if it is different. Now, for chemical scientists, biological scientists, and biochemists, physical scientists, social and humanities scientists, you can go through all the lists here. In this case, you must be paid whichever is higher out of the following: £25,000 per year, the different going rate for the type of job you are doing. So it's all about the going rate for your occupation. You will check out the going rate, then you'll be able to know, okay, is it a bit higher, is it lower, what do I expect from this? And you can check the link to the going rate there. Guys, I just wanted to share this with you. And I always say that, hey, it's time for you to talk to your employer, discuss a promotion. Do not wait until you are eligible for an indefinite leave to remain before you start pursuing all these options, because you might be disappointed. Guys, it is not funny at all. What so many people are going through is really difficult because of lack of planning, and that's why I'm encouraging you right now to start planning ahead of time. How can you go about this? You can always switch to another employer that will pay higher, or you discuss with your current employer how they can promote you so that your employer starts putting your salary as their budget whenever they are doing their calculations. When you plan ahead, it reduces all these visa refusals that many people have been experiencing. I hope you benefited a lot from this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.